Even though the Detroit Lions just drafted a safety slash running back and we brought a safety in at CJ Moore, he's more of a special teams guy. We are still in the market for a safety. Now, one guy we haven't talked about is Tracy Walker. The fact that he is still on the market. He was one of the first, not only safeties, but individuals released as the all-season came to be. He was released way back in February. I believe it was even before the Super Bowl. It was between that last NFC title game, but before the Super Bowl. While I don't think he comes back to the Detroit Lions, we still could use a safety. And there's a guy that I made at least one video about before. Well, now almost 2 weeks after the NFL draft to the day, this person is still on the free agent market. And I saw this article from NFL Draft Buzz, and I'm talking about a guy by the name of Justin Simmons. Now, Justin Simmons, even though he's over the age of 30, he's still a dog. And I believe that we need that veteran leadership in the secondary. We got a lot of young cats back there. We just drafted 2 rookie cornerbacks, right? We've got Brian Branch, 2nd year, Kirby, 3rd year, Iffy, 4th year. Right now, Iffy is really the seasoned veteran back there. And even though he's only been in the league going on year 4, he spent all of those years with the Detroit Lions, so he hasn't been on any other team. He's been under this regime. His entire time, Iffy that is, his entire time in the league has been under Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, with the Detroit Lions being his team. So the Detroit Lions really are in the market for a safety. Now, for me, it's either Quandre Diggs, who has no affiliation with this regime, or Justin Simmons. It really is a toss-up at this point. If Justin is going to break the bank, then Quandre Diggs. I think we would be winning either way, because both of these guys will be bringing veteran leadership. Let's take a look at this article from draftnetwork.com. Here's what they had to say. It says the Lions have made sweeping changes at cornerback this offseason. They traded for Carlton Davis and signed Amik Robertson in free agency. General Manager Brad Holmes also drafted Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw Jr. I love what the Lions did at cornerback to fix last season's 27th ranked secondary, but more could be done at safety, and we'll take a look at exactly why in a second. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch project to lead all Lions safeties in defensive snaps for a second consecutive campaign. Branch is versatile enough to play all over Aaron Glenn's defensive formation, including in the box as a one-on-one cover man against tight ends and slot receivers. Signing Simmons to play in single or 2 high coverage shells would free up Branch to play a more versatile role. And we are going to get into that in a second, because I saw something. You kind of, as you follow the team, you kind of notice things. And you'd be like, yeah, like for instance, I think we have a plethora of defensive tackles, or guys listed as defensive tackles, or they could either play both DT or DE, but not very many pure DEs on the team. That's the same way it is with safety. I feel like we attack the cornerback position, but we're a little light at safety, especially no CJ Gardner-Johnson, no Tracy Walker. Both of those guys were on the team last year. Now, you could say that Tracy Walker was inactive for half the season, and CJ Gardner-Johnson was hurt for most of it, and we still basically played with the team that we have now. So do we really need a safety? Well, I agree with this assessment, and I still think we need a veteran leader back there, because even though we had Tracy Walker and he wasn't playing, and CJ Gardner-Johnson, he wasn't playing, that still was that veteran leader in the secondary, on the sideline, in the locker room, at practice, those guys, right, that could be in these young guys' ears. So I would love for a Justin Simmons or a Quandre Diggs to be on this team. Now, if we look at the Detroit Lions roster, let's take a look at the roster for the Detroit Lions. And when you see what I see, I think you might entertain Justin Simmons coming into the building. The reason that I said Brian Branch, I'll show you in a minute. Here is the safeties. These are the Detroit Lions safeties listed in alphabetical order. All right. Now you've got in the secondary, you've got cornerback, you've got DB. So you have all these different kind of names. They're all the same thing pretty much. If you are a defensive back, you pretty much play in the secondary. That's what a DB means. A cornerback usually means that you're going to line up on the outside. A safety means that you're going to play in the secondary, the deep. You're either going to be strong or free, right? So it's going to be one of the two. But defensive back, a DB typically means that you play somewhere in the secondary. If we look at the Detroit Lions secondary roster, these are the secondary safeties. Okay, this is how you are labeled on the NFL roster. You have CJ Moore. He's not really a cover safety. This guy is a special teams ace. That's where he was so valuable. The Detroit Lions decided to bring him back after being suspended last year for gambling on an NFL game, which is against policy. Ife Melifonwu, right? A safety. Now, this guy was a cornerback. We drafted him a cornerback and converted him to safety. But he plays the majority safety. Kirby Joseph. Brandon Joseph. No relation. This guy is not going to be out there covering anyone. All right. So that is 3 safeties. Now, we're not going to go to the practice squad because I'm not looking at those guys right now. So if we go up, I want to show you something. If we go up, we got to change positions here. We're going to go to cornerback, Carlton Davis, Khalil Dorsey, Stephen Gilmore, Craig James, Emmanuel Mosley, Rakestraw, Amik Robinson, okay, Kendall Vildor. If you look at Brian Branch, you can't see him. Brian Branch right here, that says DB because he'll play nickel, he'll play safety, and he can play just a little bit of cornerback like outside, but that's not his game right there, right? So he's listed as a DB. So he's somewhere. He's so versatile. He's somewhere in the secondary. Okay. To me, that's an issue. We could really use another veteran safety to come in and be on our team. That is just what I would prefer. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, Justin Simmons, he's washed, he's old. And I really believe that we just throw washed out. We really do. If you don't play for our team, you are washed. And that is not a real thing. If we look at his stats, we did this before. We're going to look at his stats right now. 6'2", 202. He'll be 31 in the middle of the season, right? That ain't nothing for Brad Holmes. Literally 30 is a young man when it comes to Brad Holmes. Drafted in the 3rd round. Look at his 2023. We're going to go back at 2023 stats. 53 solo tackles, 3 interceptions, 8 passes defended, and 2 forced fumbles. Now, can he stay healthy? How many games did he play? His entire career with Denver. Played 15 of 17 back in 2023. Played 12 of 17 back in 2022. Look at this, 17 in 2021, 16. These right here were still 16 game seasons. All right. So a full season, a full season, a full season, the first 17 game season, a full season. And over the last 2 seasons, he's missed 7 games out of a potential 34. So he's played about 80% of his games, and he's getting older. All right. So I don't want to hear that Justin Simmons is washed, because that is not a thing. The Denver Broncos released him because of salary cap reasons. They got rid of their quarterback. Sean Payton is coming in there and just wiping stuff, starting anew, if you will. So for me, I could go either way, to tell you the truth. I could go hard hitter, ball hawk like Quandre Diggs, veteran leader, or I could go Justin Simmons. So what I'll do, it really doesn't matter to me, either one. But I really do think we could use somebody like that in the secondary. But can we afford him is the question that you might have. Now, this is before the draft picks were signed. All right. So you can scrape about $12 million off here, off the total salary cap for the Detroit Lions. And I would say that the Detroit Lions probably have about $14 million or so. $14 million or so. Brad Holmes is a master when it comes to contract structure. Void years, salary bonuses or signing bonuses, all of that stuff. He can make this happen, no problem. No problem at all. So that's where the Detroit Lions, they are currently 9th when it comes to current salary cap space in the NFL. And I don't believe any one of the teams have signed all of their rookie deals, rookie players yet. As far as I know, Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't signed either, right? So put it in the comments below, Quandre Diggs or Justin Simmons. Don't put in money. Don't use money to pick which one you want. Quandre Diggs, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to go Quandre because of that nostalgia. But for me, it doesn't matter. We could go either one. But I hope that the Detroit Lions do get a veteran safety. And for me, I made a video the other day, and I think I said Diggs. I don't know. I don't think I'm wishy-washy. I think I said if it comes up to money, I would take Diggs. It doesn't really matter to me. But okay, you know what? That's weak. That's weak. I gotta call myself out. If I had to pick one, I'm taking Justin Simmons. I just think the leadership, even though he's got that championship, he does have that. No, he does not. He was drafted after Peyton retired, right? He was drafted after Peyton Manning left. So this guy, Quandre Diggs, same way. Both itching for winning teams, a championship team. If I can come here, just sign him for a year. He's 31 years old. I think the most he's going to get is a 2-year deal. So I would sign him for 1 year. You know, Brad Holmes loves the 1-year deals. And if he, how many safeties? Mike Hughes, Juju Hughes. We had a bunch of 1-year guys. So 1-year deal, Justin Simmons, very close to like CJ Gardner-Johnson, man. We gave CJ GJ 6.5 guaranteed. I think it was 8.5 and 6.5 was guaranteed. So, and now that dude's making $33 million. So for me, I think I take Justin, but I wouldn't be mad either way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Justin Simmons, why do you think he's not signed yet? Do you think it's age? Do you think it's money? What is it? I think it has to do with money. I really do, because 2 weeks after the draft, this guy should have been one of the first. I mean, Jarvis Landry is back on the NFL team, but Justin is not. And I know the Detroit Lions have to be appealing to a guy like Justin Simmons, but I think these guys are going to come off the board very, very soon. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.